Paul Psolka, Ivy Masters Learning Center and ivymasters.com. And today we're going to look at the 6th question that's newly released for this digital SAT for math. And the question reads, Store A sells raspberries at $5.50 per pint and blackberries for $3 per pint. Store B sells raspberries at $6.50 per pint and blackberries for $8 per pint. A certain purchase of raspberries and blackberries would cost $37 at Store A or $66 at Store B. How many pints of blackberries are in this purchase? Well, there's a concept on SAT called interleaving, which means you've got a bunch of questions mixed up, and then you've got to pick the question out of the crowd and be able to identify it as, hey, what do I apply here? What strategy or what content do I apply here in order to solve this question? And you'd have to do this. Now, if I told you this is a system of linear equations, you may be able to do it, but you'd have to identify it. So how are you going to identify it? Well, first thing is it says $5.50 per pint, that's raspberries. $3 per pint, that's blackberries. Anytime you've got two values with per there and then you've got the total, then that is, and you've got that for two separate sets of things, then that's going to be a system of linear equations. So let's set this up. It's going to be 5.5R, because it's $5.50 for raspberries per pint. And you're going to be adding, because you need the total cost. It says the total cost is 37 there, plus 3B. Now, I'm a big fan, notice, I don't use X and Y. I use letters that are associated with what they stand for, because it's easy to also say, oh, I saw for X and I thought it was raspberries, but it was blackberries or whatever. So anyway, that's going to be 37. And then what we've also got is we've got $6.50, so 6.5 per pint that's raspberries also, plus $8 per pint raspberries. And that's going to give you $66. Now, one of these stores must be a really expensive fruit market, another one's really inexpensive fruit market. But anyway, here, what are we going to do? Are we going to eliminate or substitute? Well, I'm a big fan of, if a variable's alone, you'd want to substitute. If you've got your variables lined up like this, you've got an R lined up. This is a B over here, not an R. You got your B's lined up. Then you want to eliminate. So in eliminating, it's asking for blackberries. So I'm also a big fan of, you want to eliminate raspberries right away, because if you eliminate the wrong one right away, then it's easy to forget to substitute back in. Now, this one's kind of a judgment call, because it's easier to multiply the top by 8 and multiply the bottom by 3 and eliminate blackberries, but then you've got to plug back in the value you find for raspberries and see what they would be, solve for blackberries. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you least common multiple. So here, what you'd have is 5.5, 6.5, and if we factored these, now I'm going to pretend that these are whole numbers here actually. Let's cut out that decimal. And if it was 55, it would be 5 times 11. And if it was 65, it would be 5 times 13. And what's the least common multiple? Well, you'd write one of each base number, so you've got a 5, an 11, and a 13. And you'd affix to each base number the highest exponent for that base number. Now, both of those 5s are just 5 to the first, or just 5. So here's a little trick. 11 times 13. All you do when you multiply by 11 is you put the sum in the middle. So this is going to be 143. Then you can multiply this by 5. The entire SAT math is with calculator. So I'm going to pull up my handy dandy high-tech calculator over here, and I'm going to do that 143 times 5. 143 times 5. And we get 715. And now, what do we got to do here? We've got to multiply this by 13, and we've got to multiply this by 11. And that's going to give us a result, in which case we're going to be set up to eliminate. So again, if I pull up my handy dandy calculator, we've got that 13 times 5.5. We said that that's going to be, it's going to be 71.5 R. And so for this bottom, we're going to get 71.5 R as well. So I'll make this negative, so everything winds up multiplying as negative. And now let's see where we're going next with this. We got to multiply the 13 by the 3, and we get plus 39b equals, and then we can do 13 times 37 using our calculator. 13 times 37. And that gives us 481. Plus, and if we do negative 11 times b, we get negative 88b, and that's negative. And then negative 11 times 66, we'll throw that in the calculator as well. That gives us 726. Negative 726. And now when I add it down, I'm just going to use a calculator for this as well. We have 88 minus 39, and we wind up with 49. It's a negative 49b equals, and then if we do 726, and we subtract 481, we get 245, so that's going to be a negative 245. And then if we divide that negative 245, I mean, you might be able to see it looks like it's going to be 5c, but we'll divide it out just anyway. We'll divide that by 49. Yep, and we wind up with 5, sure enough. Correct answer is C. What's an alternative to this? An alternative is you could use your answer choices. How could you use your answer choices? I'm not going to write this all out because this video is really long already. In place of the B, you put 5 into both equations and you solve for R in both circumstances. And if you get the same R in both circumstances, then you know you have the right answer. Thank you for joining us today. So like this video. If you like this video, click like. You could share it with someone who has difficulty with word problems to solve for system of linear equations. So any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything, and check out our 1-minute video on TikTok. You want to say hi, Lou? Come on over. Okay. All right.